Hey, all my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel, where we embrace our femininity, increase our womanly value, and celebrate our brothers. So join me on our feminine journey to learn, heal, and grow. Hey, everybody, how we doing? Y'all want to get in that Discord? I'm telling y'all, it's getting popping. I'm proud of my little Discord. Finally figured out some stuff. For those of you who are members, check the community tab, please. Over the course of the next couple of days, please check the community tab, because there are some very special instructions and you definitely want to follow them, because we cannot get our member stuff cracking the way I want it to unless y'all are in the membership Discord and the regular, but you got to go into the regular Discord first, right? A couple of announcements. I have officially discontinued Patreon. So anybody who was a Patreon member, you are not going to be charged on the month coming up. There is no more Patreon. I'm not going to post anything. The videos that were on Patreon, the content that was there, I'm going to move that to the member section so that all of the members can have access to that. But there will not be any more Patreon at all. So that's completely discontinued. Let's see. Do I got something else? Not that I can think of. Next couple of months, the channel, I'm not going to change direction in terms of the content, but in terms of the format, will be slowly getting changed. I do intend on this channel becoming more or less like 90% videos, 10% live streams, and probably eventually 100% videos, like some of your favorite channels. Pink Books, if you guys watch Poor Man's Podcast, if you guys watch like Chisha Zed and all of you, notice that those channels do not have live streams. And I have been slowly but surely moving my channel to that format. But it takes a lot of time because I established this channel as a live stream channel rather than a video channel. However, YouTube doesn't like that. And I've known this for years, that YouTube does not like long form content and live stream content. YouTube likes 10-minute or shorter videos, and it will promote that rather than the live stream. So this is a part of my strategy to reintroduce myself into the algorithm properly. And I do believe that my subscribers, that you all will actually appreciate shorter form videos, compact messages. It'll be easier to share, because even though we like the live stream, if you get ready to share it, it's an hour long, and many times it's more than an hour. So if you share it with someone, they're going to be like, why would I want to watch an hour long, hour and a half long show? Why would I want to do that? So it's more difficult to share it. But that's sort of like a few months away. That's not something that's immediately going to happen. So for now, we're going to keep doing the format that I have: Monday, Wednesday, Friday live stream, the rest of the days with videos. But I do want to give you guys a heads up. Get into the members Discord. Get into the regular Discord anyways. But members, get into the members Discord. Within, I'm gonna say in maybe mid-April, we're going to start those movie reviews in earnest. We're gonna start those movie reviews in earnest. Review and discussion. Y'all definitely want to be in there. And then we just kicking it. We just kicking it too. So it's not all about just content. We kicking it in Discord, right? It's a nice, wholesome place. Y'all get to see the lionesses interact. We need some more guys in there, right? I think it would be interesting for the men to see how lionesses interact with each other, because that's what's in that Discord. We be in there sharing recipes and everything. I don't know. It could be some single ladies in there. I don't know everybody's status. Ed Kareem to everybody. So because it's Ed still, I may not do a very long show. But I did want to touch on this.
Be critical, and I hope young ladies listening don't take this as personal criticism, because I don't mean it that way. Mm-hmm. But you're young queens. I'm taken aback when I see on a college campus young women dressed in strips of clothing. Mm. But more importantly than that, no man wants his woman to be out like that. Mm. And I don't mean to be critical, and I hope young ladies listening don't take this as personal criticism, because I don't mean it that way. Mm-hmm. But you're young queens. I'm taken aback when I see on a college campus young women dressed in strips of clothing. Mm. But more importantly than that, no man wants his woman to be out like that. Mm. And I don't mean to be critical, and I hope young ladies listening don't take this as personal criticism, because I don't mean it that way. Mm-hmm. But you're young queens. I'm taken aback when I see
Didn't she stick up for Cosby? These are the comments. One guy says, unpopular opinion, in terms of relationships, the way a woman dresses, presents herself, and posts herself could be the difference between if a man sees you as a potential wife partner, as a potential girlfriend, or just a potential good time / baby mama. Somebody said with Kevin Samuels, it wasn't what he said, but how he said it. With Monique, it wasn't how she said it, but what she said. It doesn't matter how you say it. Black women will still get offended, even if you say the truth nicely. Okay. Just make sure the men are also held to a standard where they dress with class and pride. Now, all of us chickens sitting here, we know that she didn't even say anything wrong. She didn't even elaborate necessarily. See, she mentioned college campus because she has been the dean at, I forgot what university it was. So she has spent a lot of her time over the years on college campuses, because we know that Auntie Phylicia does not do a lot of acting in these past few years and things of that nature. So her acting has slowed down, but she has been at Howard for years now. So she has seen the deterioration of how these girls are coming in their dressing. And as an older woman, because Auntie Phylicia is a boomer. So as an older woman, this is disgraceful to her to see women dressing so provocatively and so scantily. That was unheard of when she was young. You couldn't do that. You couldn't do that and be respected. You could not dress in any way that was deemed the way a harlot would dress or the way a woman of the night would dress. And that meant something different when Auntie Phylicia was young. You couldn't come outside with just the nothing on that these girls have on. But sometimes red lipstick, red nail polish, and certain kinds of shoes, certain colors of dresses, those were not acceptable for women who were to be presented as ladies. If you were a lady, then you couldn't wear certain things, and being naked was just not an option. I'm talking about. You couldn't wear certain kinds of dresses, and there wasn't no such thing, like the style back then didn't call for mini dresses and bandage dresses and little bitty sheer thing. That was not even heard of, not in public. But you were in a brothel somewhere, because you weren't walking the street like that. So there were certain things that you couldn't do when Auntie Phylicia was coming up, because it wasn't considered ladylike. Those unladylike things when she was coming up would be modest today. It would actually be modest today. Right. A slip. A girl coming outside without a slip under her dress was a faux pas. What do you mean you don't have a slip under your dress? Like, you got a whole side eye for that. So you don't have stockings? You don't have stockings? You know, stockings? You don't have any stockings? You had to wear stockings. I remember that. Yeah, wearing a dress with no shears. That was, what are you doing? Sitting places without at least your legs crossed at the ankle? So the women who were considered not ladylike when Auntie Phylicia was in her teens and her 20s and coming up. That would actually be very modest today. It would be very modest, very modest. So she's not even saying dress like that. She didn't even give a dress code. She didn't say what you should be doing or what clothing is acceptable or not. She did not specify anything. She didn't name a name. She didn't make an example. She didn't do anything. She addressed it so calmly. That little snippet really was all she had to say about that particular thing. And they mad. They got mad with Sherry Shepherd because just a couple of weeks ago when she was talking about this same topic about the Black women, and she didn't just say Black women, but that's who we know we talking about, right? Because myself, Auntie Phylicia, Miss Sherry, we're all Black women. So the women that we are observing is Black women. We know who we talking about. And they tried to call Miss Sherry a pick-me because she said something about, you just naked everywhere, y'all. And they tried to call Miss Sherry to the carpet where she said this and she said that a little while ago, so I know she's not talking. Listen, I don't care what other viewpoints that Miss Sherry has espoused that I would have disagreed with. I don't care what other viewpoints Auntie Phylicia would have espoused that I would disagree with. They write on this topic. When Monique said, and I don't be agreeing with stuff that Monique say all the time, but when Monique said she called them her babies and told them about them bonnets and them pajamas, they got mad at that. Then they tried to shame her about her marriage situation and what's going on with her and her husband and this and that. Ain't nobody business how Monique handled that marriage. That is her business. She was right about them bonnets. Whatever else you would have thought she was wrong about, she right about that. They want to come for Auntie Phylicia because, truth be told, Auntie Phylicia is not married. And she has not been married for years. She's had 3 marriages. 2 of them was real short. And the last one was like 16, 17 years with Rashad. And she ended up keeping the last name Rashad because she's an Allen. Her and Debbie are sisters. And so if you wanted to just pry into her personal life, she's not married. So you could draw any number of conclusions. Well, why she not married? Well, why she this? Why she that? Regardless of that fact, Auntie Phylicia has only displayed class publicly. That she's only displayed class publicly. I have never seen her do anything other than be classy and be a woman, a respectable woman. I actually thought Debbie kept her own last name. Is that her husband's last name, Allen? I thought Allen was her maiden name. So whatever we want to say about anybody's personal life, even Auntie Phylicia, because we can dig into that. I guess it won't be much digging because she's very private. So there has not been any scandals concerning any of those divorces. She never came out and had nothing bad to say about Ahmad after they divorced. He never said nothing bad about her. She don't have nothing bad to say. So whatever she might have been up to behind closed doors, she keeping it where it need to be then, behind closed doors. If she's something other than a classy lady behind closed doors, then she keeping it where it need to be, behind closed doors. We don't need to see it. But the public face is one of class. And is one of femininity. And she done got to this big age and still ain't slipped. So she's who she is. And this is the thing that I want the women to take. Your public image. Auntie Phylicia's appearance value is superb. Her appearance value is superb. It is. Because I agree with you. I still see her as a lioness. That she's always presented as a lioness. I have not seen anything that would contradict it. And ain't nobody and no one in Hollywood has yet to come up and mention her name in some foolishness. Because you know they be ready to tell, especially on somebody that's got a good public image. Folks be ready to blow that up for some clout. Oh, y'all think she's such hot stuff? Y'all think she a good person? I got some dirt. To talk about, I'm gonna touch on for a second her role as Claire Huxtable. And this is coming a little bit off of the back of the discussion that was being had on Hamp's show earlier, as he was discussing the archetype of a wife that got presented in the Cosby Show, i.e. the Claire Huxtable character. Eid Kareem, Mogul. Hope you had a good Eid. The archetype of Claire Huxtable had its issues as being presented as a wife. So it wasn't this 100% just perfect Patty wife presentation. Because Claire would have been considered a lightweight feminist or a womanist. It might have been womanism, which is a distinction without a difference in my mind, but she would have been feminist light. I say feminist light because it wasn't radical. But we are talking about television in the 80s, post second wave feminism that occurred in the 60s. So she had some of those ideologies. If you go back to some of those episodes, you'll hear it. So in that regard, there were some problems with the Claire Huxtable character. However, it was able to depict a woman who did not have to diminish herself. And I think this is what people like about it, but can't always articulate. The reason why we uphold the Claire Huxtable isn't because she was this meek, mousy, shy, never could talk about anything, scared to have any boundaries. She literally was the opposite of that. If you real old, or if you got old parents that watch old TV, if you remember Archie Bunker, Edith was the mousy. She couldn't really say nothing to Archie. He would tell her to shut up and go. You know, Archie didn't respect Edith. He loved her. We could assume, but he didn't respect her. Okay. Edith was beneath him, and he let her know that, and she accepted that. Okay. Claire Huxtable was more the archetype of a Black woman. They kept that sassiness, because Black women gonna be sassy. Even the lionesses. We're not these mousy, unless that's just your personality. But this mousy, oh, I can't say anything. Oh, I can't think without my husband. I can't speak without my husband. I can't manage the home without my husband. I can't. What the Claire Huxtable archetype was attempting to show was that a woman did not have to not be great in order to be a wife and a mom. The things didn't cancel each other. Her husband did not demand that she not have any access to money or not have any access to resources, or not. He didn't demand that. In return, she understood the structure of the family and respected it. So she would do a little, and then there were times where she was like, okay. Because she would have something to say to Cliff, but when it was time for them to be a unified front, she knew how to be a unified front with him. In all cases, she was feminine with him. And she was feminine in that household. She had a feminine way of doing things. Now, it's a TV show, so you can't take everything, for its face value. It's not a one-to-one comparison. So I'm going to leave that there. But what I will say is this. The realistic part of that was that in order to have a working marriage, it is not required. And in point of fact, it's not as ideal either as people would think to have a wife that doesn't talk, that doesn't really have a voice, that is afraid of her husband, and doesn't really have a stake really in anything. Because Claire was not a housewife, but Claire's money also contributed to the good of the family. So her degree and her money was not weaponized in that marriage. She wasn't constantly throwing that up in Cliff's face. She wasn't constantly talking about how independent she could be without him and how she didn't need him monetarily and financially. I don't ever remember that being any part of their interaction on that show. She was an attorney and he was a doctor. And their combined efforts is what had them able to put all them kids through college and put, have a nice home and things of that nature. The other part that is realistic about it was that if I'm gonna tell people something that if you're not married, you don't know this. A functional lioness moved through that house with power. I'm gonna repeat that. A functional lioness moved through that house with power, and her lion respects it. Functional lionesses that know how to be lionesses, are not required for silence and sandwiches. Our lions do not ask us that. Sex, silence, and sandwiches. Our lions don't ask us that. The reason they don't ask us that is because the sex is on deck already. The sandwiches are already on point. And we know how to be quiet when it's time to be quiet. So they don't have to ask us that. They are more interested. Our lions are more interested in what we have to say than when we don't say. They're actually more interested. Our insight becomes invaluable to them. So what would appear to be simping to the outside world that don't know nothing about the way lions and lionesses interact in a marriage would think that the lion was kowtowing to the lioness, but he's not. He's actually not. Not at all, actually. He's not at all kowtowing to her. Not in the slightest bit. He just married a woman whose insight, who's worthy to give him the insight. That's who he married. He married a woman that was worthy to be listened to. He married a woman that was competent. And so therefore, her competency is respected by the lion because he doesn't have an idiot that he needs to tell to shut up because she says stupid things out of her mouth 8 times out of 10. And he can't rely on anything that she's saying because she's so situationally unaware that it doesn't even matter what she's talking about because he's got to pull the load by himself because she can't rattle 2 brain cells together to come together to help him do nothing. So he got to carry all of the emotional, all of the other weight and work of the relationship. Truly, he is in a relationship on his own. See, a lion know that a lioness, he's not by himself. She's sharing that load. She's sharing it. She's sharing the emotional work with him. She's sharing the workload in the household with him. She's sharing a workload of them kids with him. And she's sharing the financial workload with him. Not in the sense of 50-50, but, and maybe that, but she contributes heavily to the financial forward motion and mobility of that family. Lionesses know how to hunt. We know how to hunt. We don't even feel good about not hunting. Because her financial contribution could be her frugality and making sure that the finances do what they're supposed to do, even if she's not in a position at that moment to be working. So she helps and supports the finances by not being a frivolous spender, by learning how to do certain things within the home to cut down on unnecessary expenditures. She makes sure that herself and those children, if there are any, are not the source of bleeding money as money come in. She makes sure to keep her requests that require money to reasonable levels. She's not out making big purchases and her husband doesn't know. She's not trying to get access to money in accounts and secret accounts and, you know, just spending money and he don't know whether he coming or going because she's just spending it. It's not even. Sometimes lionesses are good with investments. Sometimes they're savvy with taxes. Sometimes they're savvy with it's various different ways to assist in a positive way the finances of the household. So that she's always falling in the asset category more than she's falling into the liability category. So due to her understanding of the structure of this family, and she already addresses her husband in respectful ways, her whole demeanor, the whole way she interacts with him is respectful of his position, of his authority, of his leadership. So much so that he don't gotta flex every day. I'm the leader. I'm the one. I'm in charge. He don't gotta do that. It would be senseless for him to do that. It would be senseless. He don't even gotta do that. He don't even have to say it. The king don't gotta say he the king. You know when the king walk in the room, just because he walked in the room, it's the aura. We already know who the king is. And we as lionesses, we don't step on his toes. So he don't got no reason to say that with his chest every time he come around, every time he got to say something, every time he got to make a decision. Well, you know, I'm the leader. Well, you know, this last decision is mine. Well, you know, it's an unnecessary part of the conversation because what's understood don't need to be explained. What's understood don't need to be explained. Why would you say that? You said that to say what? The lioness already understands that when she is asked for her insight, she realizes that he's not asking for directions. He's not asking to be told what to do. Not asking that. That's not the question on the table. That's not the question on the table. Well, what should I do? Because he's confused, because he doesn't understand what he needs to do. He's asking for insight. First of all, because he's a good leader. That's what good leaders do. Good leaders ask for insight from the people that they are responsible for and that they're leading. They ask feedback from these people. Okay? So good leaders understand that in good leadership, you got to have some feedback from the people that you in charge of. You don't just get to rule over them and then they ain't got no say and they can't even look at you. So when a lion comes to his lioness and says, baby, what you think I should do? He's not asking, tell me what to do because I'm confused about the direction because I'm an idiot as a leader and I need my woman to lead me to the promised land because I'll be doggone if I'm too stupid. That's not what he's asking. That's never what he's asking. It's never what he's asking. He is asking for his lioness's input for a couple of reasons. The first reason that he's asking for her input is because she's important to him. He actually respects her. And he respects her because she respects him. So he doesn't have to pull teeth about it. Number two, she's demonstrated that she's got a working brain inside of her head. So when she speaks, it's not a bunch of gobbledygook that he got to, oh God, what is she talking about? It's not that. He can have a sensible, productive conversation with this woman and get something out of it that he may not have considered, because women think differently than men. We see the world from a different perspective. We see things the way men do not. Men operate on logic and reason. Women are analytical and emotional. We gonna analyze it. And a feminine lioness gonna do it through an emotional lens, but it's gonna be the truth in it. And he's going to listen to that, and he gonna consider what she said and why she said it, because us lionesses can tell you why we think a certain thing. We can actually express that part of it. Even though it comes from an emotional space, we actually can articulate why we felt that way. After we give that insight, we step back from it because there's nothing else to do. We're not checking back up to make sure that he did what we told him to do, because that was not the point. And that was never the conversation in the first place. When he comes back and says, or he simply does what his final decision was, okay. Even if we thought to ourselves that he should have done something else, a lioness will never undermine the decision. Because what we come to understand is that he probably thought of different things that we didn't think of. And we also trust him to make a decision that is best, to the best of his capability, to make the best decision with the information that he has and the resources that he has, to the very best of his ability, and the rest of it, mashallah, alhamdulillah, the rest of it. That's the function of a lioness. We're not always somewhere. Can't say that we can't function if we're doing that. Lionesses cannot function properly if we're somewhere. Ooh, up and I say that. What? We know that submission is not that. Hyenas have that idea because they can't add nothing decent to what's going on. So they gotta shut up. If they want their man to think that they submitting, they gotta shut up. Lionesses understand that submission is not, ooh, I better just shut up, give him some sex and fix him a sandwich. We know that. We know that. We know that's not what that is. We can't function properly in that. What is that? How I'm supposed to give you my feminine energy? How am I supposed to give you my feminine insight? How am I supposed to contribute my, you know what I'm saying, my portion of the relationship? How am I supposed to be able to carry my portion of the burden and the yoke of the relationship? How am I supposed, if I'm a dead weight that you got to drag because I'm too stupid to figure out how to stand next to you and support and be. Lionesses got to move with power. We got to move with power. We can't move scared to, you know what I'm saying, scared to look, scared to jump, scared to, we can't be scared. Just scared all the time, just scared of your shadow. Lionesses have to move with power. Lions don't respect nothing but that. No way. They don't respect women who is jelly-backed it. Them pushover, doormatted females that can't think to say nothing about nothing. Lions don't respect that. If you've ever watched actual lions and lionesses, them lionesses they be snapping up. They are smacking. That lion don't never bite them back. He be like, oh, I can't come over here with the cubs. Oh, okay. I'll be back tomorrow then. Matter of fact, let me go on patrol. That'll take me about 2-3 days. Then I'll come back. You should be settled by then. He don't get mad at her. And even when she argue with him, you know what lionesses do? They hunker down. Even when she arguing with him, she hunker down and put her head down. Even if she swipe, her head is down. She let him know, I'm angry, but I still know you the king. I still know that. I still know that. You can't come over here with these cubs. I'm going to get you about these cubs, but I still know you the king. We know how to back it back up. Back it on back. Don't go to sleep. A lioness will get rah-rah with you. But the difference is that we understand the boundary. We understand the boundaries. You can't get too crazy. Now you can't get crazy. Now you can get a little upset. You can get a little upset. Your husband ain't gonna be too out of sorts with it. Because we can get upset and not be disrespectful. And that's the thing too. Just because we upset don't mean we enter into disrespect. You can be upset and not go into disrespect. Those two things don't need to be hand to hand. I have been plenty upset before. But you know what's disrespectful and what's not disrespectful. Your husband can take your upset as long as it's not disrespectful. Your husband can take your upset as long as you ain't disrespectful. And if you can manage to not be disrespectful and then regulate, calm down and stuff like that, your husband ain't about to be too mad with you. He ain't about to be too mad with you because he know what he got. He know a woman that's not gonna start cussing at him and disrespecting him and saying all kind of crazy stuff to him. We actually upset, but we gonna stick to the issue that we upset about and not go all over the place and all this other kind of foolishness to take it way left. You just gotta say what you're saying. And if you done got passionate about what you're saying, that's fine. But you have to know where the boundary at, where the ceiling is at. Don't overstep into no type of disrespect or nothing like that. And be able to calm your voice down. You know what I'm saying? It's been many a day. You know what? I apologize. I didn't mean to raise my voice. But it got me upset. So let me go ahead and be quiet. I'm gonna go ahead and be quiet. I'm gonna be quiet. How many lionesses done did that? And you know what? And go ahead and shut your mouth. And your husband, he might be a little, looking at you like, what's going on with you, because he done got upset, And then if you be quiet for a second, the emotions can come on down. And then, okay, this is what I was saying, all right? This him telling you. This is what I was saying. Okay. Well, I'm sorry. Right. Yeah, you know what? I'm sorry. I got a little upset about that. But you did make me mad now. But okay. Now we're not gonna talk about the thoughts now. We just talking about what we said and what we didn't say now, Miss Nicole. We're not gonna discuss the thoughts. We're not gonna discuss the thoughts. We can't discuss the thoughts. No, we can't. We can't discuss them. And that's the key. That's really the key. Even in the disagreement, the argument, the leave me alone. You done got on my nerve. Even in that. And this is why it's important to not go into the disrespect, because the disrespect take the love away. It removed the love little bit by little bit. Every time there's disrespect, the love go away a little bit, a little bit, a little bit. But as long as the both of us can keep respect on the table, I don't care what you're going through. Respect has to be on the table. Respect can't never be took off the table for nobody. As long as we know that even through a rough time, even through a hard conversation, even through a flat out argument, we didn't disrespect each other, we can always come back. We can always come back. Because you ain't say nothing out of pocket. This is why I tell couples, even when you're arguing, don't go below the belt. Don't start hitting below the belt and calling names and this and that, you know, and trying to make sure that you say something that really hurts your husband's heart or really hurts your wife's heart. That's because that's not the point. Why are you trying to hurt the other person? Just because we disagree? Just because we having a conversation right now? Then you're going to try to put a dagger in my heart? Like, whoa. Where that come from? Why you say that? Because it make you look at the other person different then. Now I got to look at you different. Because what you say that for? That's how you really feel. So now we got to talk about that. Because what was that? See? Long as you don't cross them boundaries, don't hit below the belt, don't start disrespecting and all of that. Then when we calm down, we can actually be calm. And the resentment don't have to build up in the background because I remember when she said such and such to me and that stuck with me. Or I remember when he said such and such to me, that stuck with me. Because if once you start disrespecting, it stick. It ain't no amount of sorry that's gonna really fix that. Especially if you keep on doing it. After these messages, we'll be right back. So I need everybody to go to ashkicking.com. All right. The link is pinned to the top of the chat. Make sure that you go and pick up this wonderful body butter. Okay. If this is going to be your first order, please take advantage of the 10% discount using the promo code Crimson at checkout. Once again, that link is pinned to the top of the chat. I owe y'all a bam, 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 bam. You got to hit the like button. Bam, bam. You got to Let me get to these super chats because I had some wonderful super chats. Thank you, Pharaoh said Women of the Night and Phylicia Days had more cover. They did. Thank you, Sis said regardless of her marital status, I still see Phylicia as a lioness. Thank you again, Pharaoh said young Phylicia Rashad was so fine. I want to lay on the beach with her watching the sunset. I would Jay Holiday or Raheem Devon her to her back then. Thank you, Jamal, for your contribution, as well as you, Mogul Mays, Ed Kareem. Thank you, Theo, for your very generous contribution. I appreciate you. Thank you, Louis B. said time to cancel culture fools who try to cancel people who dare to speak public wisdom. Only a 304 is offended at being told to dress respectfully, and I'm offended they forget their place is on their backs in silence. Thank you, Sis. That Claire Huxtable could read you without cussing you out or calling you out of your name. She done so with clarity, class, and femininity. Folks done forgot about cussing you out, cuss you clean out, and don't say not a single cuss word. That's a feminine read. Just read your whole life. Thank you again, Pharaoh. Said Claire Huxtable equals black flavor femininity wife. Thank you, Common Man. Said, when I was growing up, mama ran the household. Daddy really didn't have nothing to say when it came to the home. If mama said so, you do it. Even when it came to daddy, she had power, period. Thank you, Keith. So on behalf of me and my Yimna goddess, we salute you, Kendra and Crimson Cure team. Much love and prosperity. Thank you so much. I appreciate you greatly. And I appreciate the sis with the generous contribution. I appreciate it so much. Sis said gardening, canning, sewing, crafting, and the like are things on Lioness can do. These activities save money, provide additional income, and can be a good reflection of the lion in that he can brag on what his lioness does to bless his household. Exactly. And thank you once again. Sis said Lioness also does not berate her lion if his final decision doesn't pan out. Rather, she calms and reassures him that he has done his best and that she will work with him to rectify the situation. That's such a lost art, sis. So many women be so ready to jump on their man if something happened and it didn't work the way he said, or it didn't work in the time frame that he said, or whatever the case. They be so ready to shoot it down. And in such a lost art form to just be okay with it. Just listen, we're going to get through it. We're going to get through it. It is okay. Even if it's just not, even if it's not exactly okay. It's like, it's all right though. You know what I mean? Like it's all right though. We're going to make it with the help of the Lord. It's all right. Because he's gonna feel bad, because he's gonna feel like he let everybody down and things of that nature. So there's really no reason to that he, you know, that didn't work, didn't it? You know, you should have listened to me. Come on now. Thank you again, comments. So today's single mother has no power inside the home or out. If kids mess up inside, it was wait till your father get home. Outside, it was just wait till my husband get here. And Pharaoh has been a member for 4 months. I don't think we donate enough to Sister and Her Truth. We got to close the chat doors until we raise 40. Not close the chat doors until we get 40K. Not Marvin Sapp. Thank you, Keith, for becoming a new member. I appreciate you.
But now you have been promoted. You are now one of my elite employees.
Thank you, Jared. Said, understanding why the older women stop teaching. This fake sisterhood will find a way to deflect it, and older women have too much class to play. Thank you, Miss Mayim. Said, humility takes us further than winning the fight. Thank you, Miss Mia. Said, keep it going, sis. You're on a roll. Thank you once again. Sister Bashua said, take a deep breath. Reflecting, putting a smile on your face helps. Yes, your spouse might get on your nerves sometimes, but we shouldn't let small pivotal things become a huge matter. This is true. And thank you, Nia Moon. So you speak in facts. Oftentimes, I couldn't rely upon my ex-wife's insight. Additionally, she received advisement from her mother, who was a hyena, who also taught her to undermine my decisions. Exactly. I appreciate you, appreciate everyone's contribution. Such wonderful contributions. And I thank everyone. We're going to get on out of here in just a second. We're going to get on out of here in just a second. Let me see what it said. When you had a chance, watch the movie Not Easily Broken. Okay. Have I watched that movie already? Not Easily Broken. I don't know. I want to say I saw that. Anyway, whether I seen it or not, we're going to get on up out of here. But first,
all of these styles and designs can be found at our Etsy shop in the description below. Aaliyah's Unique Boutique at Etsy.com. Follow us on IG at Aaliyah's Unique Boutique.
that link, Aaliyah's Unique Boutique, is now pinned to the top of the chat where you can get all of those earrings that was in that video and commercial. They are available. Please go ahead and click the link to Aaliyah's Unique Boutique pinned to the top of the chat. Go and get you some wonderful handmade, hand-painted earrings. These are not reseller earrings. These are not earrings you're going to find on Temu. These are all one-of-a-kind earrings. All of them. All of them are hand-painted. All of them are designed by hand, expertly so. So please, please, please go ahead, click the link at the top of the chat to go right to Aaliyah's Unique Boutique Etsy shop and pick up you a wonderful pair of earrings, okay? And thank you so much, the Black News Network, for your contribution. I appreciate you. Jump down into the comment section. Let me know what you think. Like, share, subscribe to the channel if you have not. Once again, I'm your hostess, The Crimson Cure, and this was my perspective. Bye-bye, Crimsonites.